Have you ever pondered on the thought of how spiritual authority can be manipulated to control or harm individuals? This is a form of abuse known as spiritual abuse, a phenomenon that is unfortunately prevalent in our society today. Consider the case of Pope Francis issuing a historic apology for the Catholic Church's cooperation with Canada's Indigenous residential schools. This was a clear instance of spiritual abuse where over 150,000 Native children were forced to attend Christian schools to isolate them from their homes and culture. The Canadian government admitted to rampant physical and sexual abuse at the schools, a haunting reminder of how spiritual authority can be grossly misused. Or take the example of the Evangelical Christ Church in Moscow, Idaho. Here, former members reported a culture of control and abuse within the church. The pastor's teachings promoted traditional gender roles and asserted that authority and submission were necessary in relationships. Many women reported the damaging effects of these teachings, including non-consensual sex within marriage. This is a vivid illustration of how spiritual abuse can manifest within religious institutions. And then there's the story of Lisa Montgomery, the only woman on federal death row. Her advocates spent 8 years documenting the severe abuse and violence she experienced, including spiritual abuse as a child. She was trafficked to neighborhood men, and her mental health deteriorated as a result of her traumatic childhood. This case study shows how spiritual abuse can contribute to long-term psychological harm. Spiritual abuse can take many forms and can occur within religious, spiritual, or even secular contexts. It can involve manipulative leadership, emotional manipulation, isolation and control, financial exploitation, doctrinal abuse, sexual abuse and exploitation, cultural and identity manipulation, lack of accountability, psychological harm, and conditional love and acceptance. It's crucial to remember that not all religious or spiritual groups engage in spiritual abuse, and many provide positive and supportive communities. However, being aware of the signs of spiritual abuse is vital for individuals to protect themselves and seek help if needed. We can also support survivors of spiritual abuse, offering them the understanding, empathy, and resources they need to heal. So, what can we do about it? The first step is to educate ourselves about spiritual abuse. Knowledge is power. And with the right information, we can identify and call out spiritual abuse when we see it. We can also support survivors of spiritual abuse, offering them the understanding, empathy, and resources they need to heal. And finally, we can advocate for change within our communities, pushing for accountability and transparency in spiritual leadership. Remember, change starts with us, and every small step we take can make a world of difference in someone's life.